Hello again, many thanks for joining us. I'm Desmond Okrekudan. So let's begin from the former CEO of the National Petroleum Authority and lawyers representing Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid of the National Petroleum Authority, that's the former CEO, say his client is not guilty of the charges made against him by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. According to Joseph Benka, his client is ready to challenge the accusations in court.
Our client got an invitation to the Office of Special Prosecutor, and that it was coming to answer for some embezzlement with respect to UPPF fund, which is the United Petroleum Price Fund that they actually had at the MPA. Okay. Now, when he was invited, and we went with him, the questioning and everything was with regard to the 1.3 billion. Eventually, everything was dropped. They didn't even talk about any 1.3 billion. And then they now move from there, having defamed our client with about 1.3 billion Ghana cedis alleged to have been embezzled by him. He appears before you and you shift the post and now say that you are investigating him for a different reason, either than embezzlement that you had actually stated to the public at a press conference. And what is it? You now say that you are actually investigating him for extortion. Not a pesewa of public money is part of the allegation now against my client.
No, he said 1 billion. You went to see him. He didn't talk about the 1 billion. He introduced the new matter.
New matter. And now
extortion. How much was he talking about? How much has been extorted?
The initial one, as I said, was 1.3 billion.
Yeah, that's what he told all of us.
And then later, he's now shifted the post and he's saying that he's now talking about 280 million. And even that 280 million, Paul, it is not state funds. Not one cedi of that 280 million is state funds. If there is one person, as a lawyer, I can vouch for his integrity, unblemished public record, and one person who stands for the truth and will fight for Mother Ghana for us to progress. It is the Honorable Dr. Mustafa Hamid. And I can tell you again that they have fished and fished. They've gone from bank to investigate his children, his wife, everybody looked into accounts, and it's much ado about nothing. They've engaged in a wonderful fishing expedition over a long period just to fix and nail him, as if it was an orchestrated act to get him to the wrong and then deal with him in accordance with your power and might.
From the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Senate has announced plans to increase contribution compliance to 90% by 2026. As part of this drive, the Trust will launch a fully digital branch in September this year. Operating from the head office, the digital platform will serve the public across all 16 regions through USSD codes, mobile apps, and the Senate website. The Director General of Senate, Kwesi Afreb-Bani, reviewed this during an engagement with pensioners in Accra.
The engagement provided a platform for Senate to explain some of its working strategies to members of the National Pensions Association while clarifying issues and concerns of the association for mutual benefits. During the engagement, the Director General of Senate, Kwesi Afreb-Bani, hinted that in an effort to expand coverage, Senate will be establishing a 24-hour fully digital virtual branch for members to engage with Senate platform to enhance services to its clients across the country by September 2025.
Our service point where we serve and get done, you should be able to engage the team working in that office. You would have compliance people there, you have benefit people there. So once you dine in, they don't need to go to a branch and ask that, oh, can you check ABCD for Mr. ABC? They should be able to go into the system and give you quick feedback, because feedback, when it is timely, helps you and it helps us solve your needs in a much better way than we've done in the past.
He also hinted of helping members to access telemedicines irrespective of their location.
We've asked ourselves, what can we do more in ensuring that not only do we do the basics, but we begin providing added on benefits beyond what we used to do. So we sat together and said, okay, for some of our fathers, mothers, aunties, uncles, they may not have even a hospital close by them. How can we have processes in place where, in today's world where there is telemedicine, somebody can pick a call, dial a number, there's a doctor at the other end to provide some services and assurances, and to ensure that we are providing added value. That process is ongoing, and I'm pretty confident that before the end of this year, we'll deliver our telemedicine channel.
General Secretary of the National Pensioners Association, Stephen Boachi, says the association remain committed to supporting initiatives that strengthen the scheme and ensure its sustainability for both current.
Let's now head to Parliament, and the House has suspended the consideration of the Ghana Scholarships Authority Bill 2025 to allow for broader consultations with stakeholders. This decision was made upon the request of the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, who informed the House of the suspension being necessary for broader consultations following concerns of it being rushed for passage into law by civil society organizations in education. Now, the suspension was announced during the clause-by-clause consideration of the bill on Thursday, July 17 by Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, who said 2 petitions have been received and he will engage the coalition on civil society groups in education on Tuesday, July 22, for the way forward on the bill. I was staying on this particular issue and, just analyze it a bit. And the Executive Director of Africa Education, Kofi Asare, is on Zoom with us now. And also we have Honorable Joseph Kuma joining us. Let's get into it. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for your time here, Mr. Asare. Can you talk to us, because we know about the suspension of the consideration for the scholarship bill, but what really are the concerns?
Good morning, and morning to your cherished audience. Let me just try and make it very, very simple and brief. His Excellency the President wants to solve a problem per his manifesto promise. The problem he wants to solve is that of an executive-controlled scholarship approval or award process, which lacks checks and balances, and which has led to nepotism, corruption, and opacity in the award of scholarship. This is what His Excellency has promised in his manifesto and wants to solve. Now, the problem that he wants to solve is as a result of executive control over the award of scholarship. That is the cause of this problem he wants to solve. Now, the bill is the intervention to solve the problem. But the bill is proposing to solve the problem by using the same executive arm of government to approve scholarships, to approve all scholarships. So we ask ourselves, what are we solving? Because it appears we are repeating the same thing that has been done till date for the past 5 decades or so. And we are hoping that it will solve the problem that His Excellency wants to solve. So that, in summary, is our main challenge. We believe that if you want to solve cronyism, corruption, and nepotism in the scholarship system, which has those problems because it is executive control and have become politicized, you solve it by shifting the power to award from the executive entirely and bringing in other independent bodies to be part of the executive so that it dilutes executive control. That is how we believe His Excellency can solve the problem he wants to solve. But in the current state that the bill is, yes, it is a good attempt to formalize scholarships, but it will not solve the problem His Excellency has promised in his own manifesto to solve with the bill. The second one is that His Excellency says that there are many pockets of scholarships hanging around the public space. And so there's a need to harmonize them. That's what they have promised to do. The bill, as we see, has no section where it's seeking to consolidate all these pockets of scholarships. So again, the bill is not solving the second problem that His Excellency identified and committed to solve in our scholarship system. These are the two key issues that Africa Education Watch we have with the approach the bill adopts.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sari. You hold on and we'll speak to Honorable Joseph Kuma, who is Deputy Ranking Member of the Education Committee in Parliament. Thank you very much, Honorable, for joining us. Was the bill really suspended due to the CSO's concern as being claimed?
Yes, let me take this opportunity to thank you and say a good afternoon to my brother, Jose. Good afternoon to you and all the listeners. Yes, I'm sure the input that they are making is very important. And on the side of the presidency releasing the power authority there to the Ministry of Education to take charge is one thing commendable, which I'm sure the CSO supports him. And the issue of it being so long in the system, 1960, presidential fiat was passed then, and it has been in the system, no any issues discussed until 5th April 2017, when Parliament discussed the need for the introduction of a bill in Parliament to regulate the administration of the scholarships in the country. That is the fourth series, Hansard fourth series, volume 97, number 50. It means the need for formalization of the scholarship in our country has been in the pipeline for long. Yes, until now, I hadn't gotten what he was telling the people. It's today I'm getting their input to it because they met the minister and not the education committee. So very good such a proposal there. It is our aim too that at least we need to harmonize all the scholarships in the system. Get Fund is awarding, Scholarship Secretariat is awarding, and what have you. And when it is like that, we are not able to monitor. And before you realize, somebody can even go for the two at the same time, if not well harmonized. And these are the issues that are causing even students outside lacking payment of their fees and creating problems for them. What next this scholarship, the formalization of it, we want to do is to make sure that humanities courses like the humanities should be limited to Ghanaian institutions. So if you want to get foreign scholarship to go outside and study, then it should be a unique program that Ghanaian universities are not offering. That is what this scholarship also seeks to take charge of, or to control, or to help at least normalize in the system, so that we can restrict the dollarization and the pound sterling of our money to the West. We will be investing in other universities and leave ours to rot. So that is what the bill also seeks to do, to help. But on the issue of the authority of it, the Ghana Scholarship Authority Bill 2025, definitely there will be board members to run it. And where I have a bit of problem is the issue of maybe the presidency releasing it to another arm of government indirectly. I would have liked my brother to maybe, I know via memorandum they may have a suggestion there. Which organization is he having in mind? I may ask. So that as we all go forward, we'll be thinking through. Apart from the Ministry of Education, what do they have in mind? Which organization do they think that organization would rather run it better than government institution?
Okay, and so we'll just pose that to Mr. Asari right away, as we know that the CSOs will be meeting the minister on Tuesday. Mr. Asari, the question there from Honorable Kuma to you.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Kumar. International best practice in scholarship management is that the universities award the scholarships, and then the scholarship authority regulates the universities in the award of the scholarship, ensures that they award the scholarships in line with their criteria and their standards. There's also another model where the universities award about 80% of the scholarships in line with the standards determined by the authority, and then 20% of the scholarship awarded by the authority directly, which is which so there's a balance between the executive and then the academia. This bill is trying to localize scholarships, which is great, so that we are not spending money and making foreign scholarships the norm. Right. It means that everybody will go to the university in Ghana and train. So why not leave the Ghanaian universities to determine those who qualify for scholarship, because they are already running scholarship schemes anyway. So that we reserve about 20% for the scholarship secretariat to also directly administer. So those checks and balances will ensure that the authority is regulating and ensuring compliance at the university level. The authority will sit on all the boards and the universities that will be approving to ensure that there is compliance with the standards and criteria that they have set. So that is some of the checks and balances that we want to see to help end the anachronism and the nepotism.
Great. That's where we'll wrap it up. Honorable Joseph Kumar, thank you very much for speaking to us. And he is a Deputy Ranking Member of the Education Committee in Parliament, and also Kofi Asare of Africa Education Watch on this very important bill that has been suspended. On July 22, the CSOs in education will be meeting the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, for broader consultations on this. I'll be following that keenly and bring you more details of that subsequently. Away from that to the insurance sector, the president of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, Solomon Latte, says Ghana's insurance industry is fully prepared for a 24-hour shift, adding the sector is capable of providing services to businesses that operate day and night. He spoke in an interview on Business Edge.
So primarily, the insurance industry is ready for a 24-hour economy.
Okay.
Primarily.
Okay.
Almost every insurance product we sell provides 24-hour protection.
Okay.
So for example, if you buy a car, you buy car insurance, our insurance protects your vehicle for 24 hours.
That's if you hit something even in the night.
It's covered. Okay. The differences comes in with underwriting, where the professionalism comes in. In other countries, if you buy a car and you state that you are using your car for, even here, for private use only,
and that was Solomon Latte there. Now we head back to Parliament, and the minority has rejected call by the Majority Leader Mahama Yarga for the Electoral Commission to hold a by-election in Akwitia. Now the call follows the death of the Member of Parliament for the constituency, Ernest Kumi, on July 7, 2025. Second Deputy Minority Whip Jerry Ahmed Shaib, who addressed the press, said the call is insensitive and heartless.
The Majority Leader found today of all this to remind us of the very devastating news we had on the 7th of July. Why? Majority Leader is already calling for an election. We are just now aware that he's also the Electoral Commissioner. He made a submission on the floor. The Speaker ruled him out. He still did not see the insensitive nature of losing a friend and a colleague who had to fight and get into this Parliament. All that Majority Leader is thinking about is an election. All that the Majority Leader is thinking about is to show to the whole world that he, Leader of Parliament, of government business, is insensitive. It's very sad. We are here and we are wondering, do we have even friends? We are wondering, do we have colleagues? Does he think about anybody's health? Does he think about the family of our very lovely friend, Ernest Yakumi, and colleague? It doesn't matter. In fact, it matters not whether you are an MPP or an NDC. But we've always thought and believed that we cared for ourselves. Today, the majority leader has shown us that each one for himself, God for us all. It's so sad. It's so insensitive. We are crying, we are thinking, we are mourning.
Now, away from that, the third edition of the Ghana Chieftaincy Awards has been launched here in Accra, with traditional authorities charged to uphold the integrity and values of the Ghanaian culture and provide excellence in leadership and governance at the local levels. Here's more. The launch saw the gathering of esteemed traditional leaders, investors, policymakers and stakeholders committed to the advancement of chieftaincy, environment and tourism. Speaking at the launch, the paramount chief of the Abiazi traditional area and the board chair for the Ghana Chieftaincy Awards, His Majesty Dasibre Kwebu Ewusi VII, called on the various traditional authorities in the country to be united to drive development in their various traditional areas.
This initiative continues to gain traction both locally and internationally. It reflects the evolving and dynamic role of chieftaincy in modern governance, community development, and national dialogue. Let us walk this journey together, united in purpose, firm in conviction, and hopeful for a Ghana that reflects the wisdom of its tradition and promise of its people.
The Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Rita Na Odole Sowa, commended the organizers of the awards of Obokese Foundation for this initiative.
The awards mark a significant moment for our nation. It signals our collective decision to pursue, to pause, reflect, and uplift the very hands and hearts that have held our communities together long before the idea of a republic was born.
There were several remarks from other guests, including musician Ochame Kwame and director of the Black Star Experience at the Presidency, Rex Omar.
I am particularly interested in children. So over the years, I've used my voice and my music and my visuals to communicate the essence of who we are through ethics, morality, the fabric of our kente, the gold around us, what it means, with the intention to communicate it to the youth so they may not forget.
The theme of this event, a united front for promotion of environment or environmental awareness, royal investment and land tenure system. It's a call to action. It reminds us that the institution of chieftaincy is not just a custodian of culture, but a pivotal force for sustainable development.
The main awards is set to take place later in the year, with the inclusion of a Royal Investment Summit to take place under the theme, A United Front for Environmental Awareness, Royal Investment and Tourism Promotion. Now, the Ghana Association of Small-Scale Miners are raising alarm over what they describe as intimidation and extortion in the mining sector, urging President John Dramani Mahama to launch a full-scale investigation into misconduct of security personnel and other actors involved in anti-galamsey operations, as well as some government appointees behind harassment of legal miners. The association, however, called for concrete steps to be taken to safeguard the livelihoods of thousands of Ghanaians who have invested in legal mining for survival.
The small-scale mining sector in Ghana is facing a major crisis, with members of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners raising alarm over what they describe as increasing intimidation, extortion and harassment from elements within the state security and political establishment.
Politically exposed persons manipulate security agencies for profit and power, undermining formal small-scale mining activities. Some police officers and other security agencies, sometimes acting under this influence or protection of power, political figures, storm mining sites with impunity, confiscate equipment, demand illegal payments, and in some cases, violently eject miners from land they have legally license to mine. Some police checkpoints target miners in possession of gold and accuse them of illegal possession of gold despite engaging in legitimate mining operations.
Addressing a press conference on Wednesday, July 15, 2025 in Kumasi, the National Communication Officer of the Association, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, appealed to the government for urgent intervention to rescue the sector from collapse. He accused some operatives within the security agencies and political party actors of spearheading the extortion scheme under the guise of fighting illegal mining.
We are here to bring to your attention a grave injustice. The systematic harassment, intimidation, and alleged extortion of small-scale miners by some elements within the law enforcement agencies, especially the police, and politically exposed persons who run their own parallel task force for their selfish gain. This issue transcends mining. It is a human right and corruption concern. Across various mining communities in Ashanti, Western North, Upper East, Eastern, Western, and Savannah regions, countless hardworking small-scale miners are being targeted and terrorized by those meant to protect them.
The association says several of its law-abiding members have reported cases of harassment, threats, and coercion into paying bribes to individuals claiming to represent government agencies.
Now, the Professor of Physiotherapy at the University of Ghana, Professor Adjei-Duran Idowu-Bello, has called on policymakers to treat disorders affecting the structure that provides stability and movement to the human body as a public health imperative because of its impact on members of the society. He was delivering a lecture on Beyond Movement at the University of Ghana. Technically known as musculoskeletal disorders, including that of the bones, muscles, joints, tendons, ligaments, and cartilage that work together to provide structure, stability, and movement to the human body, Professor Adjei-Duran Idowu-Bello maintains such disorders should not be treated just as clinical issues. Delivering the lecture on the theme Beyond Movement, addressing musculoskeletal disorders as a public health imperative at the University of Ghana, he revealed that more than 70% of Ghanaian adults suffered from low back pain, while 13.8% of those aged 50 years and above were affected by knee osteoarthritis.
Data-driven decision-making, which involve periodic data collection across service sector to identify current economic challenges and their impact on workers, students, teachers, and administrators, particularly concerning the incidence of musculoskeletal disorders. Compliance monitoring. This is necessary to ensure economic standards in service sectors by setting specifications for workplace setup, auditing compliance, and creating feedback channels.
Professor Bello emphasized that musculoskeletal conditions, including chronic pain, joint deformities, and movement limitations, were not only widespread but also carried significant economic and social costs, especially in low and middle income countries like Ghana.
Prioritizing musculoskeletal disorders by developing and implementing positive strategies for primary preventions should form part of the campaign for public health issues. In other words, musculoskeletal disorders deserve a niche in the priority list of disabling health conditions. Overcoming the political stumbling block against the recognition of associated burden requires strategic approaches, which may include but not limited to the following: advocacy and policy intervention through engagement with health ministry to include musculoskeletal disorder, prevention in the occupational health policy.
The professor of physiotherapy called for the immediate implementation of a national screening program to detect musculoskeletal disorders early in children and youth across the country. And that's all for the news. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to our website, www.metrotvonline.com. I'm Desmond Okrekudan. So handing over back to Annie for good afternoon, Ghana. And of course, today and tomorrow through to Sunday, we're here for you for the National Delegates Conference of the New Patriotic Party. Annie.
Desmond, it's going to be not really a long night because it's not elections.
Yeah.
It's just the party putting its house together. I think we've discussed the issue of top to bottom approach that the party is using, and it has defended right from the beginning when the decision was taken by the National Council to date. So the die is cast, and the decision taken by the National Council is going to stand.
Yeah.
So we will be here to help viewers understand what's going on, amendments that have been made to the party's constitution, and the changes it will go through. We'll be here tonight to tomorrow throughout the day until the program is over. We will just urge the political party to understand that it's airtime that we will give them. Is like corporate social responsibility.
I get it.
They are paying for nothing, so they should, obey and go by their timing, so that we can also take some rest, because it's not going to be easy throughout the day.
Definitely.
Yes.
So that's it, Annie. Over to you.
But I wanted to ask you, the Ghana Chieftaincy Awards, do you have their criteria?
Well, it was just launched. They say that in the coming weeks, the actual awards will take place at the latter part of the year, and so they'll be releasing. This is the third edition. There are a number of categories that are in there. I'll definitely have them over to you after the show, and we'll see.
After the categories, they will set them aside. Yeah, we know, but we want to know
the criteria
for winners to be selected. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be engaging them more.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking is, there's so much allegations about chiefs involved in galamsey activities.
Yes.
And
I'm sure that will come into play. I mean, if you are...
Yes, there's no chief in Ghana on whose land galamsey activities is happening, and he will say, I don't know about it.
Well, so far as it's happening on your land, then it means that you haven't watched, enough.
It's not possible.
And allow that, but you wouldn't have that happening at every area, and so for those, I'm sure those who are whose areas have not been invaded by these galamseyers, I'm sure they will be at the top. Yep.
They'll be at the top.
Yes, but if your place is, the galamsey activities are taking place in your place, then it means that you've not watched well. You're not helping.
If any chief supervising galamsey activities on his land wins this award, I will personally speak out. I will personally speak out. And that's why I don't want trouble. I'm asking for the criteria for the awards. It's very important.
I'll share that with you.
Please, research and ask your people for us. We want to know.
Definitely, I'll do that.
Desmond, thank you so much for the news briefs. All right, so those are some of the stories that we have for you. We're going to go into details about the health ministry. The health ministry has taken its turn today at the government accountability series. So we'll talk about it as our guests will join us in the studio. We'll have Dr. Thomas Anaba to join us. He's a member of parliament, but he's also the executive director for the African Center for Health Policy Research and Analysis, and he will join us. And the nurses will also join us here on the platform. Perpetua Ofori-Ampofo is the president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Perpetua Ofori-Ampofo, she's been in the news for some time now, right, about strikes and all that. She will join us. We'll ask some more questions if the association is now taking a heave of relief, if government is playing its role as I said it will do. We'll find out more from her. But for now, we'll take a breather. I'll be back shortly.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an
no matter how far you run away, you always come back to where you started.
All that for top guys.
Tortured, mutilated, fingers cut off. I can lend you the money. My boss believes in giving players another chance.
You don't know what to do if you don't have the money to pay back. Come and listen to me.
Sir, it's done. Good. 1 week. That is all you got to pay up.
You've been gambling.
Unfortunately, we're still chasing shadows. He's clearing the board to make way for something bigger.
How could you do this to us, God? Who's there? I
gotta fix this.
What premium shall we place on our health? Is it to wait and get hit with a condition? Or on a daily basis, how do we check the body before health slips away? Living Well is the lifestyle series that will help you get tips to some health issues. My name is Ethel Poplampo. Join me every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Metro TV for the Living Well show.
Living Well is brought to you by Fontina 74 Mixture.
Back in the day, tuning radio from morning, and you don't want to miss out because anybody who comes on is massive.
Back in the day on Metro TV, Mr. BKD anywhere.
Back in the day, mentioning the place that you used to live, no, that meant that you were Dadaba.
Oh, how?
Because we are the ones who went to Saito.
I wasn't really a nightclub person.
No, I mean,
the only times I went to the nightclub, Yoko Dixon took me.
Yeah.
You have a Walkman by your side. Now that was your selector. The Walkman was your selector. So when you play the first song and you want to change the song, you have to start cueing your next song through your headphone.
Hi, my name is Ivan Kwashigan. I'm the CEO of Farmhouse Productions. I'm a film director, producer. You are watching Back in the Days with Sammy B on Metro TV.
Massa, we a guy and yes, Sammy B a feature. This is Back in the Day. Keep watching.
You're welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. We'll give you the session with the Health Minister, Kwabena Minta Akando, and also Member of Parliament for Joabuso constituency. He had his turn at the Government Accountability Series this afternoon. Take a listen.
In the first half of 2025, Ghana's health sector remains a critical pillar of national development.
There are two critical or three things I've noticed about the headlines.
Healthy communities, right? Drives economic and helps realize our national vision for a prosperous Ghana. When we took office, we inherited a Ministry of Health burdened with a staggering debt of nearly 12.6 billion Ghana cedis. This included unpaid bills to service providers, arrears to donor partners, and outstanding payment to contractors. Despite these, we have not wavered on our commitment to deliver. We also inherited the much-touted Agenda 111 program, which despite an investment of $344 million, had not completed and operationalized a single hospital. Worse still, it left behind over 1 billion Ghana cedis in arrears for us to settle. But we are not here to dwell on the excuses, we are here to deliver. Our party promised bold and clear commitments to improve the health and well-being of all Ghanaians, and we are delivering them. We promised to strengthen service delivery to expand access to free, quality primary health care that prioritizes disease prevention, tackle non-communicable diseases through initiatives like Ghana Medical Trust Fund, popularly known as Mahama Cares. We also pledged to enhance leadership and governance by reforming health financing, developing local pharmaceutical production, and improving the management of our health institutions, steps we are actively implementing. More importantly, we believe that compromising on the need for motivated and skilled health workers is not an option. Therefore, we have promised and are implementing policies for their professional development. Additionally, our investment in health infrastructure, manufacturing, and traditional medical research are progressing well. Ladies and gentlemen, by fulfilling these promises, we are building a healthier Ghana, one we are creating together right now. Our government, led by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, remains firmly dedicated to providing quality, equitable health care for all in Ghana. The Ministry of Health, responsible for executing government health agenda, oversees 26 agencies involved in health service delivery, regulation, training, and financing. Today, I am pleased to share with you the highlights of our key achievements aligned with our government health priorities, the challenges we face, and our plans that reflect the manifesto promises and national development priorities for achieving SDG and universal health coverage goals. Let me start with health financing. One of our main commitments is to guarantee sustainable funding for the health sector. Thanks to the visionary decision to uncurb the National Health Insurance Levy, the National Health Insurance Authority's revenue for 2025 has surged to an unprecedented 9.76 billion Ghana cedis compared to the previous capped budgetary allocation of 6.52 billion Ghana cedis in 2024, a massive increase of 3.26 billion Ghana cedis. This additional funding is a game changer, enabling the National Health Insurance Scheme to expand coverage, enhancing benefits, and strengthen Ghana's progress towards achieving universal health coverage. This is the government fulfilling its promise to prioritize the health of every citizen. Furthermore, with the increased funding to the National Health Insurance Scheme, we have increased allocation for claims payment from 56.2% in 2024 to 65% in 2025. And we plan to increase it to 75% by 2026. As the fund grows, we will ensure that every CD reaches frontline services, providing quality care to all Ghanaians. Not only have we uncapped the levy, but we have also been committed to releasing funds swiftly, and I'm proud to announce that the National Health Insurance Scheme, National Health Insurance claims arrears totaling 603 million Ghana cedis as of December 2024 have been fully settled. This milestone demonstrates our commitment, government's steadfast dedication to timely payment and fulfilling our obligations to healthcare providers. And let me state on record that in the history of the National Health Insurance Authority, no government has paid or released monies from the consolidated fund to the National Health Insurance Fund promptly as this government. In fact, we are doing it on a monthly basis. In the first half of the 2025 alone, the National Health Insurance Authority disbursed over 1.38 billion to providers, reflecting a system that is stronger, more responsive, and more reliable than ever before. This turnaround demonstrates that we are developing a health insurance scheme that benefits all Ghanaians. Ladies and gentlemen, today, 15.65 million Ghanaians are enrolled in the National Health Insurance Scheme, an increase of about 670,000 from last year's own. What this means is that 670,000 more Ghanaians are now benefiting from health insurance coverage. To address the declining funding of the health sector caused by the exit and budget cuts of development partners, following His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's directive, we also quickly prioritized funds to fill the gaps. Still on financing, we continue to collaborate with private partners to invest in healthcare infrastructure through PPP arrangement. Currently, we have identified a partner conducting nationwide assessment that will underpin our route-filling agenda for health facilities. Our biggest asset in healthcare is our people, the dedicated nurses, doctors, allied health professionals, pharmacists, and all supporting staff who serve Ghana every day. We recognize the challenges of over 70,000 qualified health workers currently awaiting employment, but I want to assure you that we are working tirelessly to clear this backlog. In the past 6 months alone, we have successfully finalized the employment process of over 10,000 nurses and midwives, with many more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to share that we have taken decisive steps to clear the salary arrears for 321 pharmacist house officers who completed training in 2024, with payment now being processed. While 1,621 qualified pharmacists await permanent employment, we are prioritizing their recruitment as part of strengthening our health workforce. This is just one example of our broader commitment to clearing the backlog across all health worker cadres, ensuring every qualified professional has the chance to serve and strengthen Ghana's health system. To complement government recruitment, we are exploring managed migration and private sector options. Regarding managed migration opportunities, over 13 countries have now expressed interest in recruiting Ghanaian health workers. We are formulating policies to ensure these benefits are fairly distributed to both our health system and our professionals. Furthermore, we are also investing heavily in their professional development and welfare to ensure a motivated and skilled workforce. In this regard, the government has implemented conditions of service agreement with our health unions. Also, in recognition of the skill gaps identified by our health labor market analysis, we are revamping the curricula at training institutions to address population health needs, increasing intake for specialist nursing program, and transforming general nursing school into specialized training centers. We are indeed investing heavily in the next generation of health workers. Over the past 6 months, we have guided more than 40 nursing, midwifery, and allied health college through the accreditation process to offer degree programs alongside their existing diploma courses, a significant step forward for quality education. To improve accessibility, we launched a new admission portal for health training institutions that allows applicants to apply from the comfort of their homes. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we inherited a system for recruitment, for admissions, where they will generate codes, and these codes are distributed to the banks. And so you necessarily will have to travel from wherever you are to these banks before you can get access to the code and get access to register on the portal to be considered for admission. And so what we did was that we think that people can easily sit at the comfort of their houses and then go online, pay, get access to the platform, and register. And that's exactly what we did, including the reduction in the sales of forms. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another good news. And this good news, I know all of you will attest to this good news. I'm pleased to announce that just 24 hours ago, the nursing trainee allowance, for both the first and second quarters, amounting to 462.58 million Ghana cedis, was credited to the account of our student nurses. I hope you all attest to this fact. Yesterday, I saw the jubilation across the country on the various campuses, and our brothers and sisters were excited receiving this money. It's a promise fulfilled. This demonstrates that when we say we support our future health workers, we follow through. Moving forward, we'll maintain this momentum to ensure allowances are paid on schedule, because supporting our trainees today means building a stronger, healthier Ghana tomorrow. And it is our expectation that we are going to pay this on a monthly basis. Constructing health facilities and equipping them is critical for delivering quality care. We inherited several critical infrastructure projects, including the treatment and holding centers at Koforidua, Goso, Asamiso, the infectious disease training centers at Pantine and in King Council, and 10 key rehabilitation projects such as Ifian Kwanta Hospital, La General Hospital, Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, and the reconstruction of the central medical stores. In line with the government's promise to continue ongoing health projects, 4 major COVID-19 response initiatives, including treatment centers and staff accommodation funded by government and the World Bank, have been completed across the country over the past 6 months. Now another famous one. For the Agenda 111 initiative, we will prioritize the completion of projects that are more than 70% complete. Our government's resolve is clear to leave no community behind in their journey to excellent health infrastructure. We have also continued to upgrade key facilities, including the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, Maternity, and Children's Block. Hospitals such as Kolebu, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, and Lekma hospitals have received essential equipment, including ventilators and oxygen plants. These are the tools we need to save lives every day. We remain committed to closing infrastructure and equipment gaps through domestic investment and partnership with private sector. However, there are still gaps. Many facilities need renovations, new equipment, and dependable maintenance system. We commit to bridging these gaps through domestic investment and international partnerships, primarily through private partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding these challenges, we remain resolute as part of our firm commitment to fulfilling campaign promises and transforming health care infrastructure, particularly in underserved areas. The government has released funding to every district assembly to support the construction of at least 2 new CHIPS compounds each year. This investment brings quality health services closer to communities and shows our government dedication to building a stronger, healthier Ghana from the ground. Across the country, within the public sector, we have 6 teaching hospitals, 10 regional hospitals, and over 9,025 primary healthcare facilities, including district hospitals, polyclinics, health centers, and CHIPS compound. There are also several thousands of private health facilities. Together, these form the network of facilities through which we provide healthcare to the people of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, we promise to prioritize the response to non-communicable disease, NCDs, which cause over 40% of our deaths, and we are on track with that. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund, popularly known as Mahama Cares, is a bold and innovative response to the growing challenge of chronic disease in Ghana. This includes our citizens with diabetes, hypertension, stroke, kidney failure, and cancers. With an annual budget of approximately 3 billion Ghana cedis, it will provide essential specialist care such as chemotherapy services that go beyond what the National Health Insurance currently covers. Funding will be provided by the National Health Insurance Fund, government budget allocation, investment, and generous grants and donations. Mahama Cares demonstrate how Ghana is leading the way in health innovation, ensuring that no Ghanaian fighting a chronic illness is left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to all individuals and organizations that have donated generously. And I also encourage Ghanaians to continue to donate to support our compatriots living with chronic diseases. Free primary healthcare. The Free Primary Healthcare Initiative is making steady progress. We are engaging with relevant stakeholders to design, finalize, implement, and monitor the program. Looking ahead, the initiative has the potential to transform primary healthcare access in Ghana, ensuring that quality services are delivered equitably and sustainably across all communities. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, emergencies cannot wait. And you recall, when I took office as a minister, instead of the usual courtesies, I was greeted with outbreaks. I mean, meningitis here, cholera there, mpox, and all that. So we cannot completely avoid that, but how to manage it as and when it comes is what is very important. We must respond to them as they happen. It is for this reason that we continue to prioritize emergency services. To strengthen emergency response at the community level, the National Ambulance Service is partnering with St. John Ambulance to establish a pool of community first responders. I want to mention that we have initiated procedures to repair ambulances that have broken down. And in addition, we are also exploring opportunities to expand the fleet. The government of Ghana has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to the health and well-being of our children. This year, we increased the budget for vaccine by 46%. As of today, we have fully paid the country's $24.5 million to Gavi. This prompt payment will help ensure we avoid recurring shortages of critical vaccines, which can lead to outbreaks. By August, we'll receive hundreds of thousands of vaccine doses ready to reach every community across the nation. As we say, investing in our children's health today is securing Ghana's tomorrow. We are not resting on our achievements. The government will continue to prioritize and invest in immunization to protect every child and build a healthier nation for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the government has pledged and remains dedicated to making Ghana a center for vaccine manufacturing. In this regard, the National Vaccine Institute is collaborating with regulatory authority and pharmaceutical industry stakeholders to bring this plan to reality. I'm happy to inform you that one of our private sector partners has obtained market authorization from Ghana's FDA to produce snake anti-venom serum on a commercial scale, marking the next step in our goal to shift Ghana from consumer to producer. We have challenges, no doubt about that. Qualified health workers are waiting for jobs, industrial actions that threaten services, infrastructure gaps, as I've already mentioned, especially in regional hospitals, poor maintenance culture in our facilities and institutions. And we all know that as a country, when it comes to maintenance culture, we actually have a problem. And so, in order not to keep repeating the challenges annually, we are fixing the problem. And this is what we are proposing to do. We have instructed all health facilities to ring-fence money, and that money will be dedicated towards the fixing of faulty equipment and the maintenance of the facility in general. And so that's exactly, government cannot continue to buy equipment, and then when it's faulty, we go back to government to look for money to repair them or to replace them. And so that is exactly what we are doing. So all the management of the various hospitals will be tasked to do, and that will be part of their KPIs. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are tackling these head-on, planning and investing prudently. Looking ahead,
So that's just a bit of the health minister's address today as he took his turn at the government accountability series in the person of Kwabena Minta Kando. He's a member of parliament and he's also the health minister, actually member of parliament for the Jaraboso constituency. Okay, so we will, get into the issues into details. Let's engage Dr. Thomas Anaba. Dr. Thomas Anaba is member of parliament for Garu constituency. He's also a member on the health committee and a member of this government. He's executive director for the African Center for Health Policy Research and Analysis. Doc, thank you for your time and you're welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your cherished listeners and viewers. A little bit of correction. I am the outgoing executive director for the African Center for Health Policy Research and Analysis.
Outgoing executive director.
Since I'm in parliament now, I can't handle that position.
You cannot hold that position.
Because it's difficult to handle that position with parliamentary duties. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the information or the updates. Anyway, so I'm sure you went through or you sat through with us when the health minister did his presentation and updated the nation on what has been done so far in the 6 to 7 months of coming into office.
Yeah, I've listened to him throughout. And I think this is at least very enlightening and it is very satisfying that at least what he says has evidence on the ground to prove it. He has touched on health financing, which is a very crucial aspect of the health sector, one of the 6 building blocks when it comes to health management. He has spoken about the health workforce issues. He has spoken about technology in health. He has spoken about infrastructure. He has spoken about governance in our health system, and specifically Mahama Care and then the administrative aspect of the health sector. And if you listen to him very carefully, there are good things that the government is doing, and one can attest to some of them by just making a phone call to some of the providers, and they'll tell you that, yes, things are changing from what it used to be about some 7 months ago. So that is very good news. So at least I think he's doing very well, and the government is doing well, and the government is on track with its promise to revive the health sector or to improve the health sector to the benefit of all Ghanaians.
Now, my first question to you on this presentation would be that what exactly did the minister seek to put out? Because every government comes in with a policy. I'm trying to make reference to the NDC manifesto in terms of the health sector. What is the policy he was trying to present to us?
No, it is the responsibility of every minister or every government to put out to the people what they have done so far within the time that they had to to administer the country. He has been a minister for 5 months, going to 6 months. He's coming out to tell you what we promised before coming to power and what he has been able to execute since we took over power. He talked to you about the health financing and its achievement, and told you that the health insurance claims have been levy has been uncapped, and all the money is being pushed to the National Health Insurance Authority to disburse it to providers, and this has risen from 9.7 billion to 10.7 billion. That is a lot of money, meaning that if we had capped this, that 1 billion that has been added to it now would have gone somewhere. He has demonstrated that and told you that claims of 2024, all claims of 2024 has been paid, meaning that all the backlog that we had for payment has been done. That is something that he must tell you to know. And if you call the health providers, they will tell you. He's told you that he has disbursed 1 billion to provide for first time for the first half of 2025. That means that a lot of money is going on, and enrollment in the National Health Insurance is increasing. Remember that people were getting delusion about the National Health Insurance, and people are having hope because once there's money being paid to the hospitals, they are able to buy drugs, and then the rest, they are able to buy the needed equipment to run the hospital to the best of their ability, so that patients would have quality health care and satisfaction anytime they go to the hospital. That is just said about the health insurance. When it comes to the health workforce, we promise to improve and clear the backlogs that are there. They have started. About 10,000 nurses are being told they are going to be recruited very soon, and that is very good news. Pharmacists who had worked for over a year and something, they didn't get salary, he said he has paid that one. So that is also very good news. And they are clearing the backlog of some cadre groups within the health sector, which is good news. It means that numbers of service providers, of personnel would be increasing in it. Conditions of service that nurses have problems with is being managed, is being implemented by government step by step, which is also good news. So I think that in the health workforce, something has been done, and he has come at least to tell us. Infrastructure, he has explained to us that projects that are 80% completed by the Agenda 111, government has promised to complete them.
70%.
Do not allow them to decay now, at least for this year.
He actually said 70% complete.
Okay, 70% complete. Okay, I didn't hear him very well. I had 80, but if he's saying 70, that is good. It means that more hospitals will be added to the number that I was thinking about. So 70% completed, they'll ensure that they're completed so that our money doesn't go waste. And that is very good news. Like we have at the La General Hospital that was pulled down and all that. They are continuing it. They are continuing to complete it. Very good news. And he has promised that every year, every district assembly would construct 2 CHIP compounds. You know that the CHIP compounds are the basic unit of the health service delivery in Ghana. Once we have it, it means that every community would have something to take care of their health needs. And if that doesn't exist, it causes scrambling and over-congestion in our district hospitals. Once we have the CHIP compounds being constructed, 2 in every constituency in a year, it means that in 1 year we have about 500 CHIP compounds being constructed. That will take care of a lot of people. Primary health care takes care of 70% of our diseases. So putting emphasis on the CHIP compounds in this manner would help to improve the health delivery system in Ghana. And I think that is very laudable from our government. He also spoke about how they have network, technology-wise, network all the 6 teaching hospitals plus 10 regional hospitals. Some are yet to come on board, and several primary healthcare hospitals to one network so that they can work together, and at least in that way, patients can be quickly attended to without complaining of you have not been referred, you have not been done this, you have not got this document from this hospital, we can't see you. With this network, it will facilitate treatment of patients very swiftly and effectively. In that way, our patients would get very happy. For the Mama Care, I think you've heard it. They are putting 3 billion in it, and that is going that targeting 3 billion in it. Adding 3 billion to what the 10 billion of the National Health Insurance to take care of the very rare diseases and very expensive diseases that are not covered by the health insurance is going to be beneficial to all Ghanaians. Whoever is sick of those chronic diseases, either cancer, renal failure, or whatever rare diseases that you have, this money is going to be used, this fund is going to be used to take care of you. So I think that this is very good. primary healthcare, free primary healthcare policy is being developed, and very soon they'll open it up. Once they open free primary healthcare, meaning that any Ghanaian can go to any primary level hospital and get treatment for free and walk home, because 70% of our ailments are primary healthcare issues. Once we tackle it, we prevent diabetes, hypertension, chronic renal failure, hypertension, strokes, and then the rest, and heart diseases. Once we master the primary healthcare very well and we handle it very well, we will reduce the mobility levels in Ghana to an extent that the bigger hospitals, the secondary and tertiary hospitals, will not have so much work to do like they are doing right now, taking care of basic diseases. So I think this is laudable, and the government has chalked a lot of feet when it comes to delivering on the promises that we made to Ghanaians, when it comes to improving the health sector that will allow Ghanaians to be comfortable.
So if a stranger asks me what this government wants to achieve by end of your 4-year term, what do you want to achieve in the health sector by end of the next 4-year term? I think when Nanado was asked, he threw in the Agenda 111 policy. Obviously, you can think of it and know what he wanted to achieve, even though it was not achieved. There is a couched message that anyone who picks a policy knows that this is where I want to get to. So in your manifesto, I'm looking at it. I'll ask you pertinent questions about it. But the one message that I want to know, if a stranger asks me what this government wants to achieve in the health sector by end of this 4-year term, what will it be?
Access to health should not be a headache to anybody. It should be very seamless, and it should be very accessible, and it should have quality, and efficacious treatment should be meted out to patients. That is what the government is aiming to.
So is access,
by emphasizing
quality
on primary health care, availability of cheap compounds, district hospital, and expanding training, like you have seen, expanding training to get people sent to communities that they can provide services. That would improve accessibility, and will be meeting the universal health coverage that is supposed to be achieved in 2030. With this program, we'll achieve it.
With the program you have captured in your manifesto?
Yes, we'll be able to achieve the primary healthcare policy, universal health coverage for all, that whereby health services will be very accessible to everybody, affordable, and then efficacious. Yeah.
So by end of next 4 years, we want to experience access, increase quality, and universal health coverage. In the country.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to the allowance situation. Now, I dare say that when it comes to nurses and teacher trainee allowances, both political parties that have ruled this country, you have been very hypocritical about that policy.
Yeah. They have not been hypocritical. You see, you can think of something in one way, and after some convincing discussions, you may have to change your mind. Muhammad's first intention in 2016 to scrap off the nursing trainee allowance was to enable as many people to join the nursing services, to go and be nurses, so that either you and also keep the money that would have been used to pay the nurses to build more infrastructure, so that when they come out of school, they can get work to do. Can you see that we have so many nurses now who are home without jobs? We can see. But then, as politicians, you must also look at the cry of the masses and understand the importance of that allowance to the nurses trainees. Because those are a group of people that, when they are in short demand in this country, will have serious problems. Some of them use the money to actually help themselves because they come from very deprived homes that they cannot afford. That is the second look why, the second reason why the NDC government have thought it that, look, let's bring it back to the nurses, because a lot of explanation has been given to justify the reason why nurses should be given some allowances. And I think it's a way of attracting people into the nursing profession. So I think it is not that we are hypocrites. It's that we look at the situation at hand at the particular moment and take a particular decision. Then when the situation changes, or a reasonable, convincing reasons are given, you change your mind. So I don't like the term we are hypocritical when it comes to that. I, for one, supported the cancellation at the beginning, but later on, when explanations were properly given, I believe that there was a need for us to reinstate it.
Yeah, I'm saying so because from the beginning, when the decision was taken that the nurses and teacher trainee allowances, and in fact, lecturers' research allowances will be scrapped off, there was an option that was given to that, which was also equally laudable, that a fund will be set up for these professionals to access these funds and use it for whatever they want to use it for, and maybe later pay it back. And that was also another very proficient way of managing the country's finances. So today that we have paid 480 to nurses, 203 to teachers' allowances, didn't it put pressure on our finances anymore?
I think the finance minister assessed it and the party assessed it and realized that it wouldn't put that much. However, let me tell you that JM also said that they are bringing it back, but they are going to work on a modality to get them on the student loan, meaning that it's going to be gradual. So have hope. For sure, in the nearest future, they may transition them for the allowance to a loan base so that they can go in, pick the loans, and do whatever they want to do with it, as other tertiary students are doing.
Yes, because I think in your manifesto you captured it somewhere that there was going to be, there was a scholarship that you provided for nurses, scholarship scheme. I think that will be also supported by the educational institutions as well. So what we're going to have going forward is that these allowances, by the wording of the NDC's government, comes back to stay.
It comes back for now, but I think it will be transitioned from what we promised. They will introduce the student loan to those tertiary institutions, because they are also now tertiary institutions, because they are not going to be affiliated like the training colleges. They are not going to be university colleges. When they move to that stage, then they'll be moving in for also taking student loan. The students will be qualified for the student loan. As the general nursing training colleges are not qualified for student loan because they are not under tertiary education. But once they move into colleges and they now affiliate to universities, and then the level of university, they are awarding them degrees, then now they can be qualified to take loans. So let's wait for the transition to be done, and then they'll also be migrated to get the student loan.
So how long are we to wait for?
Currently, we're hustling to stabilize the economy of the country, and the education ministry is doing its part, the health ministry is doing it. But once they come out with a group of people to draw those policies, we'll let you know. But I can't give a timeline on that.
We can't give it a timeline, but for now,
I can give a timeline on that.
Okay. So, but nurses and teachers should be on guard, expecting that there's going to be a transition from the nurses and teacher trainee allowances into students' loan facility.
Exactly.
Right. Now, with reference to your bigger objective of the government, access, quality, and universal health facility, I didn't hear the minister give us a breakdown about the big problem that we've had or we face in the health sector regarding access to bed facilities in the various hospitals. We still have some hospitals, even in very critical situations, abandon patients on the floor or sometimes drive them away, even when there are beds available.
You didn't hear it, but he made some comments that hospitals renovation, equipment upgrade, and then the rest, government is closely working with private sector to see how we can renovate hospitals and equip hospitals.
I'm not necessarily making reference to equipment. I have access, or I have the information on the equipment the minister has tried, providing to health facilities when he came in. We appreciate that. But we want to know, because I remember during the Mills regime, there was a policy that, assisted even the ministry to have information, to have collated information on all health facilities with...
That's the retooling. That was the retooling that brought about the retooling of the hospitals in 2012 to 2014. Right, yes. So, you see, we have the hospitals, but the problem now is not that they lack beds. The problem is that there is no space to put beds. The reason is that for 8 years, the previous government has not retooled the hospitals. So the new government has to retool all the hospitals and expand the numbers. Tell me how many hospitals did the Akufo-Addo government
Dr.
build
Napa,
in this
that's not entirely factual, because we know that there's been various experiences we've had with Ghanaians, normal, active Ghanaians who have gone to hospitals with their sick, relatives, and they have faced, pure discrimination, for want of better expression. The availability of, beds do not even allow nurses or doctors to provide these to patients who need it. And it's not because there's no access to, or we don't have spaces where we can put beds. They just don't want to look into the faces of certain patients until they get to know who you are. There's that problem, that challenge. That's why I was saying that there was a policy that assisted the health ministry during Mills' regime, that they could, even at a call, I think there was a short code or a phone call that Ghanaians had access to. You could call and they need a bed. The ministry would check which hospital has beds and they would direct you to that hospital. And that policy, to a large extent, actually helped.
Beautiful. That is very right. Everybody must have access to any hospital anytime he goes. If it is for admission and there's a bed and they refuse you a bed, there is a place you can go and complain. You can complain to the public relations office or the reception of the hospital. You can report to the hospital management. You can escalate it to the medical and dental council for them to deal with them. You can even go to the ministry and report it. You see, if Ghanaians keep keeping quiet, that, oh, I don't have time to go and complain, these things will happen. Me, if my relative go to hospital and they say there's no bed, if I am not a member of any party and it happens to me and I know there's a bed, I pick it up. Some people must pick it up. The minister cannot sit in his hospital and see that they have denied you a bed in a hospital when there's a bed, if you have not reported to anybody to take it up for you. So for that one, I would say it should be a collective effort that all of us should be on a watch. Any hospital that has beds and they refuse you admission, please report that hospital to the ministry, Ghana Health Service offices in any of the districts, any of the regions, or even at the headquarters. But I'm not sure that way. Dealt with.
Okay, but I'm not sure just a general, information of this nature will help. If we could know, we would know, or if we can have maybe a team set up at the ministry to let us know who to call, what number to call, what short code to, render your complaints and stuff like that. But generally, reporting it to the Ghana Health Service, they all exist, and all these problems are being faced by Ghanaians. And so, if we can have a committee set up or somebody, that will give us access.
Operationalization of the hospitals, they have what we call complaint center. They have people, customer care department in the hospitals. Report to them and they refuse. And you take it up to the next level and you see the effect. You see, if you want to set up a committee just to be sitting down, to be listening to, there's no bed, there's no this. Look, we have a bed management system now that is coming up in place. Definitely the number will come out. And when the number comes out with the bed management system, you'll be able to get direct access to those people. But for now, what you need to do is that there's a public relations officer and the customer care service department in virtually all the regional hospitals.
Honorable MP, with all due respect, which hospital do you practice as a medical practitioner?
Me, I run a private hospital, but I worked at Rich Hospital before as the medical director.
And when you are at the Rich Hospital,
Rich Hospital, we have a customer care service department, which number is everywhere in the hospital.
And this department was effective.
I'm not speaking as if I'm defending government. This is a local issue.
No. At this point, I'm thinking you're speaking because you're a medical doctor, not even as in terms of defending government, but because you're a medical doctor, you're probably not appreciating what the citizens have been feeling.
Please, you are making a big mistake. I am somebody who advocates for patients' rights all the time, even against my own staff in my private hospital. Please, the issue is that if you have a problem in a hospital, and there's a bed and they say there's no bed, you go and see the bed and there's a bed and they say there's no bed, they won't take your relative. Go up to the management. Go up to the management and hold them. Don't wait for a minister to come and do it. That one, let's not encourage people to do that. Or else, how can the minister handle that? Go up to the hospital management and tell them, I've seen a bed in this ward at the emergency, but they say they won't take my patient. And see what they'll do to the nurse who is on duty or the doctor who is on duty. It shouldn't be that people with high ranks should get access to hospitals and leave those who are not known in the public. No, it shouldn't be that. I'm against it. And if you come to Rich Hospital, they can tell you when I was there, you never turn anybody back from Rich Hospital when I was the director there. You can't do it. Even in my own private hospital, we don't even take money before we treat emergency. We can treat you 24 hours, do you CT scan without asking you for a CD. That is my position. So I'm not here to defend anybody. I'm here saying that clients should know where to report their cases. If it's a local issue, you see a bed in an emergency, you take your relative there and they say they can't attend to him because there's no bed. Go and put that patient on that bed. Let's see whether they'll treat the patient or not. That is what I'm saying. Because that bed belongs to all of us. The one who comes first takes the bed.
Right.
That is it.
Honorable, please, I'll let you go, but just quickly, have we been able to satisfy the nurses and their demands that they made, some weeks ago that actually caused them to go on strike? And if not, what exactly are we going to do about it? We know that the Minister for Finance is about presenting the budget, I think, in the next few days.
As part of the Parliamentary Committee on Health, we reached an agreement with them, with the Finance Minister, that the 4 items that they tabled that they must be taken care of this year, the Minister accepted to take care of 2, while the other ones will be taken care of next year. They went back to write a letter indicating that they are not happy with it, but they are going to meet the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and then make their final decision. We are waiting for their final decision. We only hope that the decision should not be calling on another strike again. We pray that they shouldn't call for another strike again. But the first 2 of the items were taken on by the Finance Minister to ensure that he implements it.
All right, Dr. Naba, we're grateful for your time. We'll leave it here. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
Right, Dr. Naba is a member of Parliament for Garu constituency, and he's also a member of the Health Committee in Parliament. Well, let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll speak with the nurses, the president of the Nurses Association, and then we'll also get their part of whatever they've received from the government and how negotiations are going so far. I'll be back shortly.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby cot. In fact, bibia opama umanyina obenye biwa ase.
located at East Legon Hills, Nana Krum KFC. Contact us on 059 Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. We've just gone through the Minister for Health briefing the nation at the Government Accountability Series, and the Health Ministry actually took turns to do that. He has given us range of items he's been able to achieve on his list, consolidated fund, paying to NHI scheme. We have some equipment that has been provided to health facilities, funding for chip compounds to be constructed. We have issues like National Ambulance Service partnering with St. John's Ambulance as well. Agenda 111 project, 70% complete. The government is, deciding to work and prioritize the ones that are 70% complete. We have anti-venom serum commercial production to begin soon because a private organization has received authorization and all that. We've just spoken with Dr. Thomas Anaba, who is member of parliament for Garu constituency and also a member of the health committee, giving us a brief and an understanding of what the health minister sought to, put out. But the most important and crucial part of the health ministry and the players have been nurses who actually put us on hold with regards to their profession some weeks ago before the Nurses Association actually resumed. So Perpetual Oforiampofu, she is president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, and she's joined us via phone to also have a conversation with us. Perpetual, thank you for your time, and you're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana.
Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon to all your listeners.
Right. I am assuming you're at work now.
Yes.
Okay. So give us a brief or a briefing of what you heard the minister say and what you think you're satisfied with or what you're not satisfied with as far as your work, is concerned.
In fact, I heard snipers of his engagement today as part of news items, and I think as for communicating what has been done so far under his administration, all well and good. At least we heard something about, that is on the national and midwifery front, we heard something about allowances being paid to trainee nurses.
Yeah.
And the fact that arrangement was being made to employ the backlog of unemployed nurses and midwives. But there is something missing. There was something missing in all of it. We have a chunk of our colleagues, our younger colleagues, who are rotation nurses. We call them rotation nurses, but have just completed their internship. And they completed their internship over a period of 1 year and post 2 years, meaning within 14 months of having worked, nothing has been paid to them as their internship allowance. And it has been a big issue for us to address. We're engaging them, they go to the ministry and all of that. The fact that they were missing in the whole of today's engagement leaves much to be desired. And therefore, we want to call the minister's attention and government for that matter to look at their issue critically. These are qualified nurses who committed themselves having to cater for their own transportation, meals, and every challenge that they had to deal with within the period of internship, and up till now, nothing has been paid to them. So good that the minister has communicated what they have done. Kudos for the achievements that he has struck, but it's important that we look at the gaps that exist, and from our front, that is what is lacking in all that he talked about, and we want to call on him to help address it as soon as possible. We don't want to find our colleagues hitting the streets to say they are demonstrating or they are picketing or they are doing anything of that sort. and therefore it needs to be looked at. In terms of the backlog of the unemployed nurses and midwives, it's important that we also try to absorb them. We know government is trying to go into some deals with some of these high-income countries to see whether they can be absorbed as part of bilateral agreements. That will be all well and good, but we will need to look at the crucial issues that we have communicated over time, and that is overhauling our nursing and midwifery education, ensuring that it's at the degree level, creating the opportunity for specialized training, and of course, equipping the Ghana College of Nurses and Midwives to be able to do this, so that we can have a large chunk of specialist nurses who can provide the needs of the Ghanaian population, and at the same time be in a better position to be absorbed in other economies where they can be treated better in terms of their conditions of service and be able to remit something back home.
The rotation nurses, are they under just your association, or they are across all nurses and midwives associations that we have?
They are an affiliate group of ours. We have Rotation Nurses and Midwives Association as an affiliate of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association.
Oh.
And so we have the Ghana Nurse and Midwife Trainee Association, that is GEMTA. We have the Rotation Nurses and Midwives Association. We also have the University Nurses and Midwives Association and other ones. Okay, so we work with all of them and ensure that we serve their interests when it comes to dealing with the employer. Our employer is the Ministry of Health, and of course, government as the larger employing body.
So what's the difference between the trainee nurses association and the rotation nurses? What exactly do they do?
When we talk about the trainee nurses, they are those that are in school. So the majority of them are those that are in the nursing and midwifery training colleges. So they are going through a 4-year, it's a 3-year diploma training program, but there's a 4th year of rotation or internship. And once they complete that, they are fully qualified to practice in Ghana as nurses and midwives. When they complete writing their licensing exams and they pass, they are required to do a 1-year internship or a 1-year rotation, or sometimes we refer to 1-year national service. And they are the rotation nurses. So when they are doing the internship or rotation or national service, they are referred to as rotation nurses. And there's a whole body, there's a whole association that has oversight responsibility over them, and they work with us directly in ensuring that their interests are served.
So just a little education for me. So they are also entitled to allowances.
Exactly so. You know, other students who complete university training go through national service, and they are paid through the National Service Secretariat. In our case, as nurses and midwives, because we duly negotiated a level on the single spine salary structure for them to receive the allowances, they are still paid by the Ministry of Health when doing their national service or doing their rotation. So it's the responsibility of the Ministry of Health to ensure that they are paid once they are doing their rotation or internship.
I see. Have you had a chance to raise their issue within your negotiation meetings before, and what has been the response?
In fact, we visited the Ministry of Health a couple of times before the new minister took over, and when he took over, we mentioned it along the way as part of our engagements with him. But within the past few weeks and months, our focus has been on the implementation of the collective agreement. Of course, that covers the practicing nurses within the clinical area, within the education area, administration and management, and all of those things. So the follow-ups we have done over the past few weeks on that, informal and formal, the communication we have gotten, especially communication that was given to the president of the rotation nurses, was that they were going to be factored into whatever it was that the ministry was going to do for the generality of the health sector. And therefore, they were all ears today, listening into today's program to be sure that they have been captured. But Nothing of the sort was mentioned about them, and that is why we feel our employer, the Ministry of Health, must, if it was an omission, we are drawing their attention so that they look at it for the good of all of us.
The last time you had a strike, when you returned, your association apologized to Ghanaians. Did you? Just for the records, did you apologize?
We haven't apologized to anybody. We haven't apologized to anybody about having gone on strike. When we go on strike, it is our legitimate right.
I thought your secretary had a chance to speak with the media and apologize for the people who lost their lives during that period.
We haven't apologized. I don't think you have cited any formal documentation anywhere that we have apologized for anything. We have not apologized, and we are not going to apologize. We were fighting for what was right for us. We knew at the time of taking the decision that yes, it was going to affect the care that some of our patients and clients were going to receive, but also we knew there were other facilities, the quasi facilities, the private facilities that were available to cater for the period whilst we were not there. So I don't think that is the most important thing. The most important thing is that have we even over the period and what we have asked for, has it been given to us? Has it been provided for us? And we are still
I've just spoken with a member of the health committee who says that the employer has agreed to satisfy you 2 of your demands, and then maybe the next budget can take care of the rest. Is that a fact?
As far as we are concerned, it's 3 items: the uniform allowance, the fuel allowance, and of course what's the last one? There's a 3rd one. It's the uniform allowance, the fuel allowance, and I can't remember it offhand, but it's 3. In the minister's engagement, we had him mention 2. 2 we understand, because when it comes to the fuel, the 3rd one that has been added, they admit as employers that if our people are not being paid the required or the approved government rates for fuel allowance, then it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly, and therefore they are going to immediately ensure that it is done as quickly as possible. Once it's an anomaly, it's expected that then it should have been done. So probably that is why the minister did not capture that. But it is not 2 items. As far as we are concerned, it's 3. We had a 4th item that they have explained that they need to better understand from where we are coming from. So we still need some time to let them study the system and treat it holistically for our cadre of health professionals. Then for the other items like the rural incentive, the on-call facilitation allowance and the rest, the agreement is that it should be captured in the 2026 national budget.
Okay, so these 3 items, you have agreed on them?
Exactly so.
Okay. There has been complaints about health professionals, especially nurses, and how they treat patients. As much as you fight for your well-being, your association happens to be the biggest nurse association in the country. Do you ensure that your members provide the best of services to, your clients or patients who visit your hospitals?
Of course, that is our priority. That is our focus. And we do this through continuous professional development, training that we give to our members. The employer itself has a huge responsibility, and it is contained in the collective agreement. The regulator also has a responsibility. So collectively, we try to train them on ensuring that at any point in time, they maintain the standards, they maintain the ethics of the profession, and give the best to our patients and clients. But the point is that there are challenges, there are difficulties, and sometimes I don't blame them. But we let them understand that despite the challenges and the pressures that may be at hand in terms of the overwhelming situation of the cases you are handling or the lack of logistics or equipment to work with, the patient shouldn't be the focus of your frustration. And therefore, at any point in time, everyone must try to, sometimes when you're overwhelmed and there are issues that you need to explain to the patient to understand. Instead of ignoring them or going out of your way to say something that is not palatable, use the time to rather explain to them that this is the situation. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that to resolve it, and they will understand. And have patience for you.
Captured under the essential service providers. There are some, things that maybe normal workers will be doing that you cannot do. That's why you're captured as essential service providers. If any of your members, exhibits unprofessionalism, where should Ghanaians report them to?
Excuse me. So at every facility, there is the management of the facility. And every nurse and midwife works under a nurse manager. If you visit any facility and think that you have not been treated right, you have every cause to report to the nurse manager or the management of the hospital. But I must tell you one thing. In the case of most Ghanaians, when they visit a health facility, every female is a nurse or a midwife. But that is not the case. There are some people who are working as odd leaves or clerks or whatever. They are also within the hospital system, but they are not nurses. If it comes to nursing and midwifery, we are well trained to be able to address the matters of our patients. But if you feel that you haven't been treated right, you have every cause to make a report. And the first point of call will be the nurse manager or look for the head of the facility and make such a report. Beyond that, when it is a grievous situation or it involves legal matters, there are processes.
Right.
There are processes. The Nursing and Midwifery Council, as the regulator with oversight, responsibility of practice, comes in and looks at those things. If it becomes a legal matter, the employer represents the employee with the legal representative required to go through the legal system. So all these things are available. And as much as possible, I want to plead with all Ghanaians that when they visit our facilities, they should have patience and also understand that most of our nurses and midwives are working under stress in most of our facilities, especially when you know you have the capacity, you have the knowledge, you have the skill to provide the care, and yet you are bedeviled with lack of logistics, lack of equipment, and all those things to be able to do what you know you can do. So there are huge challenges within our system, and we need more investment in health where we can see to the renovation of our health facilities that have run down. We need investment that will ensure that the equipment and logistics we need to work with at any point in time are there. We need investment to ensure that as health professionals, we are supported for higher education and for career development, such that at any point in time we have top-notch skills that we can use in delivering services to the good people of Ghana.
Right. Perpetual Oforiampofo, thank you for your time this afternoon. And she is president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Having spoken to us about updates, she actually says that the association has not apologized for embarking on strike. We'll draw the curtains here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Thanks for watching.
This Friday, we'll have the baby nest on the Titans and Trailblazers with my friend the Hoodos.
Because see, from day one, like I said, I was mindful of the regulatory framework.
Very much.
Within which we are operating.
Indeed. It must keep standards.
Keep standards.
At the baby nest, we look at not just, as I mentioned, not just academic aspect, but then grooming the child.
In totality. That's the total excellence.
Grooming the child. That's the reason why we would always want to advise that it's good when